We're back here on the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show. You know, these are some very exciting times for the Hill District. Paul Ellis is here to tell us why. So we saw that story a couple minutes ago. Denzel Washington came into town. The only thing he didn't do was come with one of those big checks. You know, those big checks they do. Right. But tell me how Denzel has fallen all into this vision you had for restoring your uncle's house.
Well, we first started having a conversation with him during the production of Fences. As you know, he was here on the Hill District filming Fences, and we began a dialogue with him. And to his credit, he got involved in the project. It wasn't a matter of him just wanting to lend some financial support. He really got involved. During our meetings, we went over the vision, the business plan, the architectural renderings, the whole 9 yards. So he was hands-on from the very beginning. I know comes across as personable and humorous to a lot of people, and he is. He's very down to earth, just like my uncle. But he definitely did his due diligence, and he spent the last year and a half, getting to know us and getting familiar with our plans and our vision.
So this is a vision that you personally have had for a while.
That's true. It's a vision that I formed in 2006 and then shared with the Pittsburgh Foundation, who in turn issued a grant, which led to us doing a feasibility study, which led to this whole process beginning, and basically trying to get the right people together.
Absolutely.
That was critical.
Now, when you started down this process, the physical structure of the house, I'm guessing it was kind of vulnerable at that point.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Vulnerable is an understatement. We had structural engineers and architects and other people that are in the business of preservation tell us how close we were to losing that building.
Losing it, wow.
If it wasn't for Heinz Endowments and Macaulay Ministry stepping in and giving us emergency grants to do stabilization, we could have easily lost the building. And even after we went through that first phase, the state, the Pennsylvania Historical Museum Commission, they stepped in and helped us with a facade preservation grant, which allowed us to save the front of the building. So those were critical. Without that intervention, we wouldn't necessarily have the building to be talking about right now.
Absolutely. So what's your vision now? Once this is all done, and I know you have artist or an architect's rendering of what it's going to look like, what will happen inside the August Wilson House?
There's going to be a wide range of programming going through the August Wilson House. My uncle never wanted it to be a museum. He was very clear that it should be useful. Keep in mind, he opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people in his career. So one of the primary goals, consistent with our mission, is to make sure that we create opportunities for aspiring artists, particularly underserved and underrepresented ones who need the assistance the most. And that's not necessarily a socioeconomic for people who don't necessarily have that technical support and who want to take their craft to the next level. Now, in the building, once it's done, we're going to have workshops and poetry readings, seminars, outdoor theater productions. There'll be round tables, writing workshops. This is going to be a multidisciplinary arts organization with a national scope and reach. So there'll be a lot of programming going through this building.
I was going to say, I'm guessing that Wilsonians from around the country, this is going to be a destination for them.
Well, sure, yeah. In addition to the educational programming, we're also going to have to accommodate the multitude of visitors, both locally, nationally, and internationally, who we know are going to come through the doors, and we have to provide. So it's a multi-tiered interpretive planning process that we have to get ready for.
So let's talk about the money part of it, because we've been mentioning that Denzel wrote a check, Oprah wrote a check, Shonda Rhimes, Samuel L. Jackson, Spike Lee. But this is a continuing process. It's awesome that they put up this money, but you need more, I'm guessing. You always need more money, right?
Yeah, and we do, and we're not. It's not that we're being greedy.
Right.
We're not. It's just different buckets is what we call them. If projects like this are very expensive, the August Wilson House is huge. It's even bigger than it looks. And it's not like you can just throw drywall up.
Right.
You have to preserve what's inside. The people from the state and the National Registry of Historic Places, they came, they took pictures, they know exactly what we have to do inside, and it's very expensive. Right now, there's asbestos and lead paint and 100 years worth of peeling.
Yeah, that's expensive, right? Once you say asbestos, that's a whole nother.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's 100 years of peeling wallpaper and paint on the inside, all throughout the house. There's aspects that have to be preserved. The banister spindles, the transoms, the doorways, the molding.
Right.
It can't just be thrown out and replaced new. It has to be restored.
I don't want to cut you off, but we're down to our last minute.
Sure.
What's the goal to finish it, and where can folks get more information? I mean, are we looking at 2021? What are we looking? What's your goal?
Well, we still have, my personal goal, unfortunately, is irrelevant. We have construction timelines.
Okay.
It takes a while to finish up the design and permitting process, the final part of it. That's going to take a couple months or so.
Okay.
Once we complete that, we expect to be under construction for roughly a year.
Perfect. And how can folks get more information?
The internet, of course.
The website.
AugustWilsonHouse.org and AugustWilsonHouseFacebook.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Sure.
This is obviously something we're going to have to stay on top of, so we're going to have him back. Keep us up to date on the project. In the meantime, I'm Lynn H. Freeland. Don't forget, we're online at KDKA.com. Click on my face. We're right there. We'll see you next week.